the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Yes, Paycor Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio. No place I'd rather be. Sunday at 1 o'clock, Jaguars, Bengals. Storylines endless. Road game for the Jaguars. Remember there was a time around here where if it was a road game, you just automatically put down an L. There was this no chance that Jacksonville was winning out of Duval. That changed somewhat in the Peterson era. Kind of got back to normal times late. But I'll tell you, being down at the Miller Electric Center today and just witnessing, the eye test as far as what's going on a Thursday, confidence is there. This feels like a loose football team. They are dogs. The latest is 3.5. Cincinnati, the favorite. You can find it at 3 in some circles. I don't know why you would. If you're a Jaguars fan, you want that hook at 3.5. Total 48.5. But they don't seem bothered by this. They don't seem amused by this. Again, it's a collection of new football players. Half the roster has changed. The coaching staff, outside of Richard Angulo for the most part, has changed. And I think all of the fears, all of the history of struggling and things along those lines, that is not a part of what is going on right now with this football team. All right, a lot of good today, one bad. Let's start with that. That is Foye Oluokun. He did miss practice today. He was ill. So we'll have an update for you tomorrow, but it was a phenomenal game for Foye. He got the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, 10 tackles. He was involved in a fumble recovery, and also, the interception. It was a big game. Part of, 3 defensive turnovers for Jacksonville. Foye Oluokun was part of 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And on the flip side, they also added 2 more turnovers, if you will, if you look at giving the ball over on downs. I love that. That's a part of this that I think Jacksonville, you're well aware of, but maybe might not get, it's not getting the attention that it deserves. They actually had 5 turnovers. I've always looked at 4th down, you stop them. To me, that's just like a pick. To me, that's just like a fumble recovery. And, they would have had a 6th if the Dewey interception was not flagged. So, I thought it was a really good day to get an opportunity to talk with several of these players, and you're going to hear from them throughout the next couple of hours here on the show. But all of a sudden, that really becomes the concern because this is a healthy football team. All right, they got through week 1 with only 1 injury, and that was Anton Harrison. And I did catch up with Anton Harrison a few hours ago over at the Miller Electric Center, and he told me straight up, the back is fine. He's ready to give it a go. So that's good news. Cole Van Lanen as well, ready to go. It's going to be interesting to see what the 48-man roster does look like. I got to imagine that they won't have 4 running backs. I think it'll be the 3. That would be my guess. So you can make a move there either on the offensive line or maybe this is Mason Smith's week. Maybe he finally gets called up and gets that opportunity to get some reps against the Cincinnati Bengals. So that happened today. And, that was really interesting. The word out of Cincinnati is, and I keep reading what the reports are. The Joe Burrow situation is absolutely fascinating to me because when I think the best quarterbacks in the NFL, well, to me it's still Mahomes and then it's the 2 who played the other night, Monday Night Football, right? It's Jackson and it's Allen. But I put Burrow right in there as the top four. I'm still surprised that Jalen Hurts doesn't get the love that he deserves. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1. Anyway, we'll save that conversation for another day. For one reason or another, Burrow starts really slowly as the season gets underway. He improved the 2-4 on opening day with that victory, which, again, feels like a defeat. And to me, that's a mark of a really good football team. That's the tone that's coming out of Cincinnati this week, that even though they knocked off the Cleveland Browns, it feels as though they lost that game. So, point I'm trying to make, I think Jacksonville is really going to catch Cincinnati's best effort. And they're going to get that opportunity, in front of the home crowd to, you can't take away the win, right? You still won. And that's the bottom line. They went, the short distance to Cleveland and found a way to pull out that victory. But this is going to be a fired up crowd, and you're absolutely going to expect a better effort and better production. But here's what gets interesting. Joe Burrow's never won in week 2. He's 0-5 lifetime. If you look at the first 2 weeks in the years that he has been the starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, 2-4, 0-5. That's 2-9. All right? I mean, can you and trends are, do whatever you want with them. There are so many different ways to look at this game, right? Every game is new. Again, this football team is not looking at what happened a year ago, okay? That is not even a part of the way that they are operating. That is so far gone. It sits with you as the fan. It's always going to sit with you as the fan. The good, the bad, and whatever else does apply. But if I look at that number, 0-5, do you really believe that Joe Burrow is going to go 0-6 in week 2? In his NFL career? Shamir, to me, that one sticks out more than anything. And I know it can be foolish because those 5 years prior, everything was different. I don't know who the opponents was. I don't know if it was home or it was away. I don't know if it was Monday night away. I didn't do that type of research to look at his 5 losses. But to me, that just sticks out. And that has become an enormous talking point in Cincinnati. That's why I mentioned it. Around here, it can be like, okay, no big deal. But there, it's different. The local reporters there are saying, Joe, you've never won in week 2. Talk radio, Joe, you never won in week 2. Everyone in their basement pounding away on message boards and text lines and social media. He's never won in week 2. This is literally being rammed down his throat and his teammates' throat. So, again, it doesn't mean much in Duval, but it means everything there. The other side of this, which is petrifying, you look at his numbers after a poor effort, and it wasn't all on him. The offense was terrible. They could not run the football. They allowed 3 sacks. There were a ton of pressures. The incredibly talented wide receivers just were not involved in this game plan. Whenever this has happened in his 5 years, as a quarterback, going into year 6, 1 game in year 6, he has always responded with a huge outing. So that is what you are looking at with this football game. Still think Jacksonville absolutely has a chance to pull off the upset here. I do, because I think they're very well coached. And I think the old adage comes into play for Jacksonville as well. You improve most between week 1 and week 2. And even in a 26-10 victory over Carolina, Jacksonville made a lot of mistakes. Not only the penalties, there were other issues defensively with coverage. I think Bryce Young missed wide receivers, open wide receivers. My guess is that Joe Burrow's not going to miss those wide receivers coming up on Sunday. We also do know that Travis Hunter is going to get much more burn on the defensive side as well. Hunter spoke with us a little bit earlier today. I'll play that for you as well coming up here in just a couple of moments on the program. So this is what it's all about. This is a playoff team. This is a very productive offense. This is also a offense where their line really struggles. And that was talked to us today several times, including a conversation I had with Eric Murray, which I want to play for you as well coming up in a little bit. Just looking at Cleveland, and he points to Myles Garrett, and he says it wasn't only Garrett. It was others who were absolutely involved, and he believes they're going to be able to get a pass rush. So, that is absolutely, it has to be for you Jaguar fans, encouraging. And this is what's so good about starting off with a win. It's the relevance of things. If they had lost on Sunday, we'd be like, here we go again, 0-1. No. You're a dog, but you're a field goal dog. You're a one-possession dog. You're not even half of a touchdown dog. You make a play here, a play there. That could be the difference between a W or an L on Sunday. And I think coaching is going to be an enormous part of this. So I feel pretty good. We're going to give our picks later tonight. We'll do that deep into the second hour. We'll go through the injury report, albeit it hasn't changed much at all for the Jaguars outside of the unfortunate news today that Foye Oluokun was ill. All right, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. All right, stop delaying when it comes to getting your eyes checked. It's to me, it's like, why? It's just, it's almost like allowing your oil in your car or truck to go down to like 1%. And then you're like, okay, I'll finally, drive it in and get it done. You don't make foolish moves like that, right? You keep the maintenance with your car, with your truck, so it works. It's the same thing with your eyes. Why is it there now? I'll get to it. I don't have time. I'll get to it. Well, I advise you to get to it now. I don't want to see your eyes get damaged. And you may not be feeling good. You may think, I have an issue here. It could be as simple as an allergy. And Dr. Neil Shmunez gave me something a couple of months ago, and I went in. I didn't even know I had an allergy. He said I had a minor one. Gave me a product, cleaned it right up. No redness, no itchiness. Everything is good. Also, laser eye surgery. Imagine the rest of your days having 20/20, never having to look around and find those readers or worry about passing out with your contacts. And that's only part of what they do at Shmunez Vision. Again, more than 37 years worth of experience with Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt. Check them out online, Shmunez Vision. You can also check them out by going to Instagram and getting all of the testimonials. All right, when we come back, let's hear from Dylan Denmark. Let's get involved here deeply with the Jaguars. You're going to hear from Eric Murray, Travis Hunter, Anton Harrison, perhaps Dennis Gardeck, among others. Also the Philly Godfather, who unfortunately didn't join us during his normal time last night on a Wednesday. He will be tonight. He's coming up at 6:33. So we'll hear from the Philly Godfather as well as we get things rolling right here on a Thursday edition of Into the Night.
He's skilled in the art of diplomacy.
I'm Defense Minister Dmitry Mishkin.
Get insights and interviews from Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline when he takes you behind enemy lines.
The CIA has no knowledge.
Delivered by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Introducing the Jag Stack at Firehouse Subs. So bold, it's named after the home team. Stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, roast beef, provolone, fresh veggies, and the new Duval drizzle sauce. For a limited time at your local Firehouse Subs, there's only one hottest sub in Duval.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has branched off from on-road to off-road. Give us the latest on what they've got.
They've got the 250 and the 450. Rick Carmichael designed these bikes himself, and they are bad to the bone.
So you're talking about a really cool effect from a bike off-road that Triumph had on-road forever.
It is, and it's out there winning races, and it is fun to ride.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville, their showroom on Atlantic near Regency, or online on their Facebook page.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. I just upgraded my home with fantastic floors, and the experience was incredible. Rusty and the team brought the showroom to me with their at-home consultation. The whole process was simple. The installation was top-notch, and the results, absolutely fantastic. Take it from me. Don't wait. Visit fanfloors.com and schedule your at-home consultation today. Fantastic Floors, where every step is fantastic.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is JJ with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call on Kuhn Flowers, they'll do it all.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for coming over so quick.
Sure thing, pal. What's the big... Whoa!
See, I told you there was a smell.
Yeah, it smells like...
Exactly, or a dead one more like it.
You need some fresh air in here.
Well, this is the problem, Jason. I've kept everything sealed up tight all summer long so I don't lose all my nice cool air. Now all the dog smells and cooking smells and home gymnasium man cave smells are all building up and I can barely...
Dude, where are the Bueller sunglasses I gave you?
Oh, I don't know. They must be in my other...
Put on my emergency pair.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing can install an air purification add-on to your existing air conditioner. Clean the air of dust and pollen and funky smells while you cool.
So I can keep all the cool air I saved up?
And your place won't smell like a dead...
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I was just asking about Tim Brando. When will he be back? Timmy B always with us on Thursday. That is not the case. He's been out of the weather. So here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow at 4:13. And he will be on 1010 only. We made the programming change as we do now every year during high school football season. Into the Night is on in the afternoon. We'll be with you 4 until 6, and that is only on 1010. So Tim Brando fans, you'll get that tomorrow at 4:13, and that'll happen on Friday. I imagine the rest of the way through, we'll get back to our normal schedule here on Thursday night. But, again, we had to make a change. Timmy not feeling well. I know he's on his way to Lubbock, Texas. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. Check them out online. Go to Alexander Law Practice. And, you know, they're there for you, especially if you've been personally injured. Okay, this is a big deal. You may be alone right now. You may be injured, bodily harm. Your vehicle may be destroyed. Okay, pick up the phone, 400-6600. Free call and free consultation, and fire away. Ask questions. Rick Alexander and his practice, they're going to look at your case. You need to tell them everything. I can't afford to get my vehicle fixed. I can't afford to pay bills. You'll never come out of pocket. This will be settled at the end of the case, which obviously is expected to be very rewarding for you. Take advantage of this. Call Alexander Law Practice today, 400-6600. You can get immediate call back, and then you're going to get the individual care that you deserve. Free consultation, 400-6600, or go to alexanderlawpractice.com. Dylan Denmark, how you doing here? It's a Thursday. We got an NFL game tonight, a good one.
Yeah, we do. Washington, Green Bay. It should be a good one. Probably a preview of a playoff game, possibly. But I'm just sitting here thinking Sunday about 4:30 for the Jags as they play the Bengals. Have a good feeling that we're going to know a lot about this Jags team at 4:30. Especially defensively, we're going to know, is the interior defensive line such a big hole as we thought it is? The secondary, I was a big weakness a year ago, as that got fixed. And I think the offense is going to be fine. But the biggest question for me is this Trevor BTJ connection finally going to connect Sunday? when they play Cincinnati, because I think if you want to win this game, they have to have some kind of connection.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. They could not run the football against Cleveland. Chase Brown, 21 carries, 43 yards. They just couldn't. And again, you look at these numbers, they are staggering. They favor Cleveland in every category. 71 to 49 plays. 71 for Cleveland. I mean, only 49 here for Cincy. Time of possession, nearly 36 minutes to 24 minutes. The difference in the game, as I said yesterday, Cincinnati was 2 of 3 in the red zone. Cincinnati did not turn the football over, and Cleveland did twice. So the turnover battle was 2-0 for Cincinnati over Cleveland. And they also watched Cleveland miss a couple of field goals, something that I do not believe is going to happen here with Cam Little. All right, we got a lot of reaction today from the Jaguars locker room. I want to begin with Travis Hunter. And, you know, Travis was asked a ton today about defense, and I'm not going to play anything from that because I say this respectfully. He basically said what you would expect him to say as a rookie. It's all up to the coaches. I mean, this is such a mature rookie who knows how to say exactly what you want him to say. I'll never forget my first question that I ever asked him, because I was shocked when I saw him at the Miller Electric Center, you know, particularly his legs. And that's still the biggest issue that I have, is he going to be able to hold up? But I asked him, I said, what is your ideal weight? And do you think you're going to be able to keep it on in this Florida heat? And excuse me, I did say, and what weight do you expect? What is your ideal weight? And his answer was, my weight is whatever the coach wants it to be. And I was like, damn. Like, this guy gets it. Heisman Trophy winner, all of this talk. He's going immediately, you know, to the coach and being a good team. He said the same thing today about the defense. I did want to get his reaction, though, on this earlier today with Travis Hunter.
Experienced your first, coming and goings with one of your teammates traded to Tank Bigsby on Monday night. What was that like for you, and how much faith do you have in your, co-rookies now who are really going to get an opportunity to run the ball?
We've been sending all camp. They some great backs. They go out there and play good. So I don't really know what to say about Tank. Tank was a brother of mine. I still love him and I still support him.
So there you go. He's very short, and I think it's by design, by his design. Say what you want about Travis Hunter. I know there's a lot of reaction. I do all these shows, and I'm sure everyone here at the radio station does, in other markets. And although I just did one, as I said, Dylan, you helped me set it up. I never thought in a million years I would actually do a show in San Francisco that would be on only Mac Jones.
And it happened. And you went, 15 minutes?
I mean, they wouldn't stop asking me questions about Mac Jones.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, need a little 10-minute interview, ask you 3-4 questions, depending on how long you go. No, they were going on and on and on.
How are they when they rush 4? How are they when they rush 5? It was just one after another on Mac Jones. But no, you do all these interviews or whatever in different markets, and it's always about Travis Hunter. And I think there's a misconception on Hunter that, he's a diva. And he's electrifying, but he's anything but. He is such a great team football player. Look at what he did in the first game. Look at the interceptions. Look at the turnovers. Look at the touchdowns. I mean, he's like the first guy. No matter what the deal is, he's like among the first guy there to celebrate with his teammates. He is a phenomenal teammate. And, I'm blown away by the way that he acts. But I do think those answers, those short, compact answers, are basically by his design. I think he's a smart enough guy. He said, I'm not going to give anyone anywhere any material to use against me, okay? I'm going to give you the basics, and, let's keep it with that. All right, let's move along here. We have time for Anton Harrison right before the Philly Godfather. Let's do that. Let's catch up with the starting right tackle. Again, an unbelievable effort by them this past Sunday against Carolina. I did spend a couple of minutes with Jaguars right tackle Anton Harrison.
All right, here with Anton Harrison. Congratulations on a victory in Week 1.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. How you feeling?
I feel good. Great stepping stool, great Week 1. Only build from there.
Yeah. Back okay?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. What an effort by you guys. 200 yards rushing, no sacks allowed. What's it like to be part of such a dominant offensive line?
It feels good. We know that's something we can do week in and week out, and it's just us a 5 up front, tight ends, running back. Really the whole offense being all in one, being complementary to each other, coming out, everybody going 100% effort. We know what we can do, so that's just Week 1. We got to do it again next week.
How rewarding is it to be able to run the football the way that you did?
It's great. Knowing that our backs trust us, and that's what we want to do. We want the offense to lean on us as an O-line and us 5, plus the tight ends and receivers going and doing their job. So if we can come on everybody, we know we can do that, and that's something we want to establish.
It's probably the worst part of the business, but Tank gets moved on Monday. What's that like? And your faith in the rookies being able to come in and immediately help out Travis Etienne?
Yeah, obviously it sucks losing the guy I came in with. Tank, he was in the same class. That was my guy. So obviously I'm wishing the best for him. But as the guys, the rookies we got now, that means the coaches believe in him. The coaches trust him. So I trust him. I believe in him. So I have no worries that anything's going to be different. They know it. We trust them. They know what they're doing. So we're going to call out on Sundays and do what we got to do.
Tough opponent. Really kind of the word out of Cincinnati is they're acting like they lost that game to Cleveland. So kind of the wounded animal type of scenario. Just going into a tough environment trying to win a football game this Sunday.
Yeah, us as O-line, we talk about all the time. We want to be most dominant on the field. So we got to bring that same mindset away in Cincinnati. No matter if they won or lost last week, we know what we got to do. We know what we want to do. So we got to go in there and do it.
Hendrickson, the rookie, Stewart, he's only played one game, but a very formidable pass rush that Cincinnati does have.
Us, we've been watching film. We know what they got on the edges, the inside. So us tackles, me and Walt, we watched that film, and we got coming in. We got a game plan for them, and we just got to trust the game plan and go out there and do what we do.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it.
He didn't show up on the stat sheet, Shamar Stewart. We all remember he held out for, an incredible length of time and 37 plays. So he got some serious burn, but it didn't show up on the stat sheet, which, doesn't always tell the picture defensively. Trey Hendrickson is a beast. He had a sack, played 57 plays. Again, he was kind of in and out, missed some time as well, trying to get a new contract. That is going to be very interesting to see how the Jaguars pass protect in this football game. This is a solid defensive line with Hill and Slayton inside. But they played a massive amount of football. They were out there 71 plays on Sunday. So, I don't know what that does conditioning-wise. I'm sure it helps them. As far as the bumps and bruises, to me, that would be a little bit problematic. Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll see as we get closer to kickoff. All right, let's look at this game. Let's dive into it. Also, college football. Can the Gators win at LSU? What about Georgia in Tennessee? What about South Florida? They go down to Miami. Can they win a football game? Let's take a look at those three and the Jaguars and Bengals. We are joined next by the Philly Godfather.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer. Nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists returns with their free bumps and bruises evaluation clinics this season. Now with 4 locations, these free injury assessments are open to all schools and athletic programs. Saturday mornings through October from 9 to 10 at Cortex Sports Performance in Ponte Vedra. Preferred PT in Fleming Island and Brooks Rehab on Centurion Parkway and World Golf Village.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Football is a game of inches, and at Front Runners Tap House, every inch counts. Catch every big play on their massive 396-inch giant television. The ultimate game day experience is waiting for you at Front Runners Tap House inside the Community First Igloo.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, it's an enormous weekend. It really begins tonight in the NFL. We should have a good one in Green Bay. Then, of course, tomorrow and the weekend, well, there's no one we'd rather have than the best-selling author and the legend of the Philly Godfather who does join, Rick Ballou. Always good to talk with you, sir.
Always great being on, man. You guys got one of the best radio shows on the planet.
Oh, stop it. Dylan's blushing over there. He is. Hey, how you doing? How are things? All right?
Great, man. We're setting up some more book signings. There's like 15 left in the Philadelphia region, and then we're going to try to move on to Miami, maybe go out west to Vegas and finish in L.A.
Man, sounds great. Once again, for our listeners, how do they get the book? It's called Booked by the Philly Godfather.
You can go to Amazon. It's ship to order. You'll probably get it the next day. Or you can go to phillybooked.com, and I'll send you out an autographed copy. It might take a couple days.
All right, there you go. Get the latest there. Dylan's read the book. I've read the book. I know JJ has read the book. Let's get right after it. The SEC, it's a big weekend. Georgia goes to Tennessee. Your thoughts on this one, Philly Godfather?
Yeah, this line surprised me. It's dropped 3.5 points off the original look-ahead line of Georgia -7. It had reached as low as -3.5. Now I'm seeing some -4s pop up in the market. The total also dropped from 50 to 49.5 and down to 49, depending on where you shop. That line move kind of confused me a little bit because Georgia, I think they won like 8 straight against Tennessee. They're currently, they have the third best odds to win the national championship at +700. So the market fading here is a little confusing for me. I mean, I know Georgia's offensive line is a little banged up. They lost a bunch of stars to the NFL from last season, and their quarterback, Gunnar Stockton, he hasn't really wowed anyone yet, and it's still a little unproven. But I'm not sold on that Joey Aguilar kid from Tennessee yet either. I mean, he's had limited experience against top-tier competition, and it's much easier to look good against Syracuse and East Tennessee State than it is against Georgia's defense. And he was kind of a turnover machine last year at App State. He threw 14 picks. And if he does that this week with a low point spread of 3.5 or 4, I can't see Tennessee covering the spread. At +7, Tennessee was probably the right side, but now it's reached down to 3.5. I like Georgia if I can get it at -3 or on the money line. I just can't see Tennessee beating this.
Now, did the public move this? Was it the combination? Was it sharp money as well? I mean, this is a big move, as you pointed out.
Yeah, it was a big one. Now, it was some sharp money taking the 7, but I think, once the sharp money takes the 7 and takes the 6, then the followers jump in, and then there's an overreaction to the original sharp move. And sometimes the odds makers overadjust, and that's where you can find some value as well.
All right, you can get it at -3. There you go. Georgia will play Tennessee coming up on Saturday. Saturday night is Baton Rouge, LSU, a huge win against Clemson. And, all of a sudden, Florida, they become a desperate football team. The fans here are not happy about their loss to USF.
Yeah, the line popped, I think it was LSU -6.5. It moved to that key number of 7. It's as high as -7.5 in a couple shops. There's some sharp money whether that went under 48.5. It's down to 47. And I'm actually seeing some 46.5s pop up in the market. So there's definitely some sharp money on the under 48.5 and under 47. The LSU Tigers and head coach Brian Kelly, I think they've had this game circled. After last year going down to Gainesville and losing 27-16, and revenge is definitely on their minds here. And I think they're smelling blood after USF beat Florida outright as 18-point underdogs last week. LSU has looked more impressive than Florida. Up to date, Tigers went into Clemson as 4-point dogs, and they beat them convincingly by shutting them out in the second half and winning 17-10. But with Florida getting their stud defensive lineman, Banks, from injury, and LSU, they got some problems. I think their center's all banged up more. I kind of like Florida here, man. It's a great buy low spot. Everyone's jumping off the bandwagon. I think the public's going to be all over LSU here. And if you grab 7.5 on Florida, they're probably going to cover the spread. Wow,
that's a big number. Yeah, that hook is huge, as we know, going from 7 to 7.5. You can get it. Caleb Banks is expected to come back and play for the Florida Gators. All right, Philly Godfather, your information, please, so our listeners can get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can find me on X at Philly Godfather, or you can stop by the phillygodfather.com.
This is really intriguing here with what we've seen with South Florida. They beat Florida. Now they go to Miami. Next week, Florida goes to Miami. So you kind of have this, deal of facing one another, round robin, if you will. Still a ton of points here for South Florida. What, somewhere in the neighborhood of 17.5, 18?
Yeah, it's kind of wild because USF beat Boise State by 17 points as 5-point underdogs. Then they go and they beat Florida outright as 18-point underdogs. Now they're catching, like you said, 17.5 points against Miami. It feels like USF is maybe the Rodney Dangerfield of college football. I mean, they're getting no respect here. It's a lot of points, but it is a tricky game to bet because all markets eventually correct themselves. And coming into the first 2 weeks of the season, South Florida was definitely undervalued with 2 outright wins as underdogs. But after 2 weeks, I think the market catches up to USF. As of right now, around 65% of the money is on the Bulls, which is surprising. I mean, the public's jumping all over this team. And the line is moving the other way. It went from Miami minus 15.5 to 17.5. So anytime you see that reverse line movement, you got to be careful. The Hurricanes' defensive line, I mean, they've created so much havoc against Notre Dame. I think they sacked Carr like 3 times, and they were in his face all game. And I don't think the Bulls' offensive line is as good as Notre Dame's. I think they're going to have problems there. I kind of like Miami here. If you can lay 17, I think it's the right side. I think the market catches up with USF. I think Miami's the right side.
All right, plus 17 if you can get the U against the University of South Florida. Sunday, Cincinnati, Ohio. It is the Bengals playing host to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Your thoughts, Philly Godfather?
Well, the good news is we move one game closer to cashing our over 6.5.
Yeah, you do.
7.5 wins tickets, with the Jags this season, with that big win over the Panthers. But there was a couple things about that game that bothered me. I mean, Trevor Lawrence didn't look great. I think he threw for like 178 yards. He had 1 interception. His QB rating was in the basement. And other than that strong rushing attack by the Jags, I mean, you can really argue that Bryce Young gave that game away with 2 interceptions and a fumble. Lawrence is going to have to play a lot better this week against Burrow to stay within that Vegas number. And here's a stat. I mean, anytime Burrow has a bad game and he throws for less than 200 yards, and it's only happened twice in his career, the following week he comes out and averages about 300 passing yards and over 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So Trevor better step his game up. But with that said, I mean, the Bengals, on the other hand, they were lucky to beat the Browns last week. Cleveland had 11 more first downs, 186 more total yards, and turned the ball over twice. And they really gave the Bengals a win here. I think the game's a coin flip, Rick. I kind of like the Jags plus 3.5. I think they can stay with the number. I don't know if they win the game, but as long as Trevor Lawrence doesn't throw a couple picks, they can cover that number.
Yeah, big difference between the 3 and the 3.5, though. Huge.
Yeah, big number.
All right, hey, Philly Godfather, always a pleasure. Leave us once again with how our listeners can get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can follow me on X at Philly Godfather. You can stop by the phillygodfather.com.
And also to get your book, Call Booked.
Yeah, stop by phillybooked.com or you can go to Amazon.
Always a pleasure, sir. We'll talk next week.
Good luck, guys.
There he goes. Philly Godfather. Jaguars plus 3.5. He likes Florida plus 7.5. The U laying 17. And if you can get Georgia down to 3, okay? Those are huge numbers, right? There's such a dramatic difference for those who don't wager or play between 7 and 7.5, between 3 and 3.5. And if you can get the Jaguars and the Gators with the hook, with the extra half point, it could be the difference between cashing a check or, paying a vig. It could be. We'll see. But thank you, as always, to the Philly Godfather. Real quick from you, Dylan, Caleb Banks, what's that going to mean defensively for the Gators Saturday night, his return?
Oh, it's definitely going to help a lot. Down the stretch in November, he was one of the best players on defense. When that defense took another step up from a year from the beginning of the season, it was a lot of it had to do with him. So having him on the interior and disrupting even just a little bit on the run game and collapsing the pocket, that's going to help out a lot.
Any update on Dallas Wilson, the wide receiver?
He is not going to play. He's already ruled out. There's been no specifics on his injury.
Wow.
So,
because I know they were really leaning on him.
Oh, yeah.
To be a huge part of it. They have some talented wide receivers, some young wide receivers, as we're all aware of. But Dallas Wilson still out with the leg. All right, we got much more to do. Good to have you with us. Best way to join us is on the text line. That number is 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also watch us on YouTube, okay? Just go to YouTube, 1010XL into the Knights.
With so many stars on the field, there's always one that burns brightest.
And when he flashes, he is something to watch.
Who will be this week's Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game?
Watch out
on 1010XL.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Calling all poker players. The Best Bet Summer Swing Series kicks off August 18th at Best Bet Orange Park with a $200 no-limit hold'em and a $100,000 guarantee. Next stop, Best Bet St. Augustine with a $150,000 guaranteed poker tournament. Then wrap it up Labor Day weekend in Jacksonville with a massive $300,000 guarantee. Play all 3 events and swing for big winnings. Get all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Yo, what's happening, folks? It's your main man, E.T. here with Twin Peaks. And are you as pumped as I am about this Alvarez-Crawford fight? September 13th, this Saturday, superstar Canelo Alvarez will take on the undefeated Terrence Crawford for the undisputed super middleweight championship. The bout is going down at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. You don't want to miss this one. And it all goes down beginning at 8 p.m. Make sure to get your table and catch it at Twin Peaks all night. Head over to Atlantic and Kernan, where it's Alvarez-Crawford at 8 p.m. this Saturday. Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts.
It's the start of our favorite season in Jacksonville, football season. Let's get hyped and let's get the home in tip-top shape and let's get that house zero-resified. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, they'll take care of you. Call the folks at Zero Res right now, 287-5727. Ask for the 1010XL special. Get your 3 rooms of carpet cleaned at $139 plus a 4th room free. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% and homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
PRI Productions is the official game day production partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, I'm Randy Goodwin, president and owner of PRI Productions. Chances are, if you've been in Jacksonville over the last 30 years, you've seen our work, from corporate and social events to concert production and much more. We have the equipment and expertise to make your next event memorable. So call the experts at the Jaguars Call. PRI Productions, bringing your ideas to life.
No more climbing ladders or tree shopping or untangling lights, no way. Kuhn Flowers will take care of it for you this fall when you schedule their holiday home decorating team. High Flying Jacko here. Now's a good time to call on Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all this fall.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Cincinnati, Ohio. Always one of my favorite stops on the road. And on YouTube, you can join us. 1010XL Into the Night. James Tyler says, Ballou, where are the good watering holes in Cincinnati for the college football slate on Saturday? I honestly do not know. And I can't remember any of the places I visited in Cincinnati. I know I've gone across the river. I've gone over to Kentucky and looked at Cincinnati, and that has always been a lot of fun. But I'm with you. I mean, I want to watch all these games. I'm getting there very early. I'm getting there at about 11:30. So you can't check in on the hotel until like 4. So I'm just going to drop off my bag, and I want to settle in for some great games in the world of college football. I remember they're big on chili there, and they have this famous restaurant. This would have been during the Gus Bradley led Cincinnati Bengals, or excuse me, Jacksonville Jaguars against the Cincinnati Bengals. And we actually left from Cincinnati to London. And we were there for a week. And we were at a place called The Grove, okay, which I'm sure Hitchcock wrote about. You know, it was just out in the boonies. We never saw the sun, but that was a whole week in London. And I forget the name of the very famous restaurant in Cincinnati with good show. See, I'm not a foodie, Dylan. You know,
I've recognized that.
You know, I'm just, what's that?
I said I've realized that. I remember I asked you a couple months ago, I was like, you big steak guy, or then you're like, just whatever.
No, I love it. I love it all. I don't have the taste buds, which is weird because like with Irish whiskey and stuff like that, I can really, tell the difference between that and Scotch. And, I remember some media guys were flipping out, when they went from like Diet Coke to Diet Pepsi. And it's like, man, I really can't even tell the difference between that stuff. I can't. And I certainly, when it comes to, great steaks. I mean, Jeff Lageman, I remember him saying he commented on the Ruth's Chris here, but a restaurant in New York City. I mean, we used to go to St. Elmo's or the knockoff right down the road in Indy or whatever. And that, like, to me, bro, you can bring me to Longhorn, okay? And that's a great steak.
Yeah.
I just can't tell the difference. Now, there's certain stuff like seafood. I got a better taste for that. And obviously the good folks of the Blue Crab House. But food in general, I am anything but a foodie.
Yeah, and it's surprising. Like, we're playing the Bengals this week, and, we have a couple people that have been on the show that, from in the mornings that are going to go to the game. I didn't know that Cincinnati was a great town, to go to. I've never heard anybody say that. And like 3 or 4 people be like, oh, Cincinnati, one of my favorite cities. I'm like, well, okay. I didn't know that.
To me, the two most underrated cities in the United States of America are Cincinnati and Milwaukee.
Really? Okay, that's new.
Milwaukee, I lived there for 7 years. I lived right, when I first homeowner, I was around the Wisconsin border. I love downtown Milwaukee. Now, you don't want to go to either of those places, 5-6 months a year when it's cold.
Right.
But I'm talking about out in the summer and stuff like that. Milwaukee to me was always a blessing. Back then it was Miller Park. It was brand new. I'd bring the kids there, the daughters there. I mean, you could literally eat off the floors. My kids did. And, then we go to Wrigley for something cool. But anyway, I don't know where to go. In Cincinnati. All right, the Bengals remain the same as far as their injury concerns. For the most part, nothing changed during Thursday's injury report. Amaris Mims has an ankle, and he was limited, okay, today and yesterday. So that's really the only concern right now. Their starting right tackle, Dalton Risner, is in as their right guard. They did put Lucas Patrick on the injured reserve. So their starting right guard is out. You also know that they have a rookie starting at left guard, okay? Orlando Brown's been around forever. Ted Karras was a very good football player, years ago in New England. I do not know how he is holding up now as a member of the Bengals. But, I just look at this offensive line, and it's a clear weakness. It feels like I'm talking about the Jaguars of the last several years where I want to believe that Jacksonville is a much better offensive line now than they once were. We'll see. I mean, you can't measure it based on one game. But I think it's a really good opportunity here to create some havoc as far as the pass rush. I did ask Eric Murray about this a little bit earlier today and Joe Burrow. I think you'll like his answer. We're going to begin our second hour with that, and we're also going to get you involved. Your questions, fire away. 641-1010 text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, also on YouTube. Go to 1010XL into the night.
Connect with 1010XL.
On the line, online, with your friends. Now everyone's exchanging ideas.
Find 1010XL on your social channels.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey, Duval, here's your chance to be face-to-face with the Jags as they take the field on game day. Jump in the shadows and experience the Jaguars like never before. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows for your chance to be part of the action. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and older. Entry periods for the sweepstakes are from 8/4/25 to 12/21/25. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank, N.A. member FDIC.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 11, 1985, Pete Rose gets career hit number 4,192, passing Ty Cobb, making Rose the all-time hit king.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Watch football this season in downtown Duval at Pour Tap Room Jacksonville. 2 floors, 15 TVs, a giant projector, 80 self-pour taps of ice-cold craft beer, wine and cocktails, plus a full bar, wings, burgers, and more, and pizza delivered to your table from Pizza Dynamo. Downtown at Laura and Forsyth. Pour Tap Room Jacksonville. A beer festival every day.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
30 years strong in Jack's Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is celebrating with the largest firearms sale this month. Save big with no sales tax on firearms during the Second Amendment sales tax holiday. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach. 30 years of trust, savings, and service.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor, lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
Ballou here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor, outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Several of our listeners have texted in Skyline Chili. That was it. And I guess it's supposed to be the best. I always figured that the best chili, right, would come out of Texas. That would be my opinion on it. But again, I'm not a foodie. Give me chili, and I'm going to love it, no matter where it comes from. It's good chili around here, for crying out loud.
There is. I would think chili would come from like a cold place, like somewhere in the Northeast. Not someone like Texas where it's hot. I know Texas has good food.
You know what's got great chili? You know who does? Chili's. Gee, I haven't been there in a while. They used to have those 2-for-1 drafts, man. Those used to be the best, especially if they were ice cold. Man, they're like 8-ounce, 10-ounce drafts. I don't know, but they were 2-for-1. Always a good thing. No question about that. All right, let's get straight to the point here. Jacksonville is going to have to be a force on defense if they are going to win this game. You cannot lean solely on your offense in this contest. The defense is going to have to step up. They're going to have to create some turnovers. They're going to have to stuff the run. And we'll get to Anthony Campanile in a little bit on his thoughts on the run. And, it's going to be a tough environment because, again, the feeling there in Cincinnati, it's really bizarre. It's like they lost this football game. And that really happens only with really good football teams that kind of take on that attitude. I mean, any win around here is a great win. It's a W. It's been that way for 31 years, right? I can't think of too many bad victories that Jacksonville has had. Maybe one or two in the Coughlin era, right? But not many. Certainly that is not the case in Cincinnati. Anyway, caught up with one of the newest members of the Jags at a heck of a game in Week 1 against Carolina, and I had this for safety Eric Murray.
Eric, historically speaking, Joe Burrow's never had two poor offensive games in a row. They're almost treating this like they lost a week ago. So, he's expected to really show up and play well. How are you guys prepared for that?
Just being sticky in coverage. The Browns, that's kind of what they did. They, stayed tight, made it close in terms of when he was throwing the ball, and he's real good at anticipating and things like that. And they ran some good stunts to keep pressure in his face. And it wasn't just, Myles Garrett, which he's the marquee guy, but as a team, they rushed really well. So that's what we plan to, replicate.
What a great answer. I mean, it wasn't just Myles Garrett. They ran some stunts. Jacksonville ran a fair amount of stunts last week and was able to create pressure with 4. There were times they went to 5. Ryan O'Halloran had that. I'll give you that momentarily. But I want to continue this with what Anthony Campanile had to say. Basically, the same thing. That is about being able to get some pressure on Joe Burrow.
Sacks are great, and that's a very important part, right? Obviously, because those are negative plays, but you want to be able to affect the quarterback. And we talk about hands, hits, hurries every day, and that's super important to us. Even batted ball, creating middle push in the pocket, getting the quarterback off the spot, all that stuff can play a factor in incomplete passes, right? And a successful down for the defense. So for us, it's a huge point of emphasis. It's a really, really important. Like, if you get 10 sacks in a season, you had a really good year in this league. You may have rushed the passer 650 times. So what'd you do with the other 640 snaps? You might have affected the quarterback a whole lot. And that, to me, is how we evaluate who's really, really productive in the rush.
Foye Oluokun got Player of the Week defensively in the AFC. If you're joining us for the first time, Foye Oluokun missed today's practice because he was ill. We'll have a report for you tomorrow. But Josh Hines-Allen was outstanding. He was arguably one of the best players on the field this past Sunday. He had 8 pressures. Now, this doesn't stick out because it wasn't a sack. And I get it. That's a huge measurable here, right? You gotta. That's what everyone looks at first with pass rushers. But Campanile is so consistent with this. It's about disruption. It's about upsetting the quarterback, being able to get in his face, forcing some pressure, getting some quarterback hits, making him pull off what he wants to do, maybe a primary option number one target well downfield. There's no way you can now throw that football because you're able to create a little bit of havoc. Josh Hines-Allen had 8 pressures against Carolina. Trayvon Walker had 4. Eric Armstead, on a milk carton all last year, had 2. Now, you'd like a little bit more. I get it, but that's certainly on and I want to say 49 snaps. Yeah, Armstead played 49. Heck of an effort by Armstead, okay? He gave you the guy basically took August off. He gave you 49 snaps, and he had 2 pressures. Do you expect better? Absolutely. All right, he wasn't all over the place as far as tackles in this game. I would expect a little bit more, but remember, last year, Jacksonville was dead last when it came to pass rush win rate, ESPN's statistical category, right? Why did that happen? Well, it wasn't because of Hines, Allen, and Walker. You would think they would rank, fairly good in that particular category. They got nothing at all, absolutely nothing from the interior defensive line. They said goodbye to Roy Robertson-Harris. It didn't work out with Armstead. Devon Hamilton, is really just kind of settled into the definition of what being a guy is kind of the NFL term. He was the lowest graded player on Sunday. Devon Hamilton, 36.4. I am a little bit concerned about that, and I think you should be as well. What is going on? What is happening as far as the depth for Jacksonville in the interior defensive line? Is this the game that you get Mason Smith? Not only that, but you get Mason Smith and he goes out there and he does make some plays. You look at Armstead, he played 49 plays. After that, the interior defensive linemen, you had, 24 for Hamilton. Frankly, that's not enough. He's got to be giving you plus 30 with Mason Smith out, in my opinion. You got only 13 with Austin Johnson and 12 with Colin Saunders. And that's it. So I think they're waiting on Mason Smith. That's my feeling on this. I could be dead wrong. And he's still not a part of it. We'll see when it's all said and done. Yeah, Eric Armstead only had 1 tackle in this game at the defensive line position. So it is, without any doubt, a work in progress for the Jaguars. But I just look at this offensive line, a much maligned offensive line. And I think Jacksonville's got a real opportunity here to go after Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow is on his back all the time. And that has been consistent for him, throughout his career. He just hasn't been able to be a part of things that have been good there. And you got to give him credit for being so dominant. And I get it. He has big-time wide receivers. Arguably the best wide receiver combination in the NFL. You can bring up Miami. You can bring up Minnesota. But right there, right now, it's tough to beat them. Joe Burrow's been really, really good, considering the offensive line has always been a problem. 28-35, Ballou says, to Ballou, covering the quarterback run and 3rd and 8 are a concern right now. It's an outstanding point. And, Bryce Young was able to slip out of the pocket a little bit. Joe Burrow's a guy that I imagine they would not like him to run that way. But you're going to see it several times this year. There's not a lot of quarterbacks left in pro football who don't move, right? Who's out there? Goff? Certainly Goff and Stafford. How many quarterbacks are in the NFL right? The days are gone of Brady and the Mannings and Roethlisberger and Breeze.
Flacco.
Rodgers is still in that category. But,
yeah.
What do you have? Out of 32 teams, Do you have 26, 27 quarterbacks that can, if they get flushed out of the pocket, can certainly pick up first downs?
Yeah, and it's not, it's not like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson athletic, but they're mobile. So, if no one's open, you need to pick up a 3rd and 4, they can do that. They can use their legs and pick up the first down. Jared Goff and those guys usually don't see doing that.
I'm glad the 2835 wrote this in. I said it earlier in the week, and I'll get back to it right now. My biggest concern with the Jaguars defensively on Sunday is the middle of the field. All right? They don't have good coverage linebackers. Your best one is sick right now in Aloakon. I don't have the faith in the safeties. I think Eric Mario I just spoke with. I think he had a really good game, but it's a little bit of a mismatch with big bodies. And, Font had a really good game. He was their leading receiver in week 1 for Cincinnati. And, what are they going to try to do there to fix it? And you have, big, strong, physical wide receivers with their route trees that can certainly beat you one-on-one along the sideline, but they also have the ability to go, over the center part of the field. So they may hit one. They may hit a home run, on the edge, sending Chase or sending Higgins. And if so, you kind of tip your cap and you get beat in a one-on-one situation. But I feel like if they're going to really feast in this game, it's right there. It's the center part of the Jaguars defense. And, Caleb Ransaw's a guy I think they were hoping that was going to be there for him. Dewey played well last week. He did. I still don't know about Dewey in coverage. I just don't. I think he's a better run defender. But, he made a big play. It would have been a pick 6 if not for a holding. And, what are they going to do? Ray Lane's a rookie. I hate to say it this way, but I'm just being honest with you. I don't trust Darnell Savage. I don't. Antonio Johnson, there's so much hope. But isn't one of those deals where you're just kind of looking at him with your fingers crossed, like, will that light go on? Because you look at his length, you look at his body, you look at his size. Man, he is a monster. I went to every one of those practices at the Miller Electric Center. He is so much bigger than the other safeties. They want to, have him hopefully trust his football instincts. And, this new zone coverage where you have your eyes on Joe Burrow, could that end up benefiting Antonio Johnson? We'll see. I mean, I'm sure Joe Burrow right now, and they're sitting around offensively looking at this saying, we can attack Jacksonville in the center part of their defense. So they're going to need a big-time pass rush. And the rushing defense isn't, out of this world. Do we have time for that clip, or should we play that on the other side? All right, let's play that on the other side if we do have time. Anthony Campanelli today, some interesting stuff on the run defense. I also want to compare where Jacksonville was, what they are in week 1, and where Liam Cohen was a year ago in some critical areas on offense. I think you'll be surprised.
This is the game right here that they're able to make a play.
It's the top of the highlight reel.
What a play!
The Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game on 1010XL. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental, with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
How'd you get your money so quick?
Hard Rock Bet's got lightning fast withdrawals.
Almost as fast as Dale Jr. valeting cars at this party.
Man, he's fast.
Hard Rock Bet's fast withdrawals have given me new motivation.
Tips are appreciated.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Gator fans, Dylan Denmark here. Join me Saturday night at 7:30 for the Florida LSU game at Poor Tap Room downtown. You could win a national championship commemorative basketball Saturday night at Poor Tap Room.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community-focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Florida heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOCAL to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOCAL for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOCAL for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
The Money Pages brings you the Red Zone featured player of the week. Number 1, Jaguars running back Travis Etienne Jr. Travis played college ball for the Clemson Tigers and was drafted by the Jags in the first round in 2021. Pick up this week's Jags game program with a commemorative ticket of Travis Etienne inside. Download the Money Pages app for weekly specials. Money Pages, official sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
He's looking for some bands out of Cincinnati. Former member of the Doobies from Cincinnati, but of course they're a San Jose band, I believe, a Northern California band. Not from the Hayton-Ashbury, but down the road a little bit. Anyway, they're finally in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Mark Quinones, I've met him before. He was with the Allman Brothers, and probably 2 years ago he was in town with the Doobies. And Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi, and I was lucky enough to have a dinner with those three. And Mark Quinones may have the best life of any musician there is, because he's not easily recognized, so he's not bothered. But this man goes to every state and every city, and they do a long residency in Vegas. And on days that they don't have shows, he plays golf on the nicest golf courses around. And during that dinner, Quinones and Trucks were going to play golf that very next day, at the stadium course. But just imagine that, saying you're from the Doobie Brothers, everywhere you go. All right, we have a concert tomorrow on Friday, have Thursday off, I want to play golf. And you play on the best course around. So I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds like an outstanding life. All right, I want to bring this up because I like it with Mark Quinones. I appreciate the honesty. I love it. And these things get said often directly to players. There are times, man, you won't say anything at all about it to the media. But today, Campanelli talked about his rush defense against Carolina.
There's some real good snaps in there, but I think there's some plays where, I wasn't pleased with, to be honest with you, and we got to be a little bit more disciplined on a couple snaps there. And that'll be the case all the way up through the end of the season. You know what I mean? Constantly evaluating that, getting on them about the fundamentals of playing great run defense. But there are some things there that the principles we talk about in defending the run that show up, and we made some good stops in the game because of those. But we just have to be really, really consistent, be vigilant on that the rest of the way.
So there you go. I mean, talking about the run defense, which obviously has to get better. Now, to make things somewhat easier, Cincinnati could not run the ball at all, and they averaged 2 yards a rush. I also looked up the safety situation once again. Yeah, Antonio Johnson played one play. And he played the play that Dewey came out, right, after the pick six and the penalty. I look at this and it's like, really? I mean, Dewey 63, Antonio Johnson 1. Darnell Savage gave you 28. Eric Murray gave you 62. So they're going with their 2 starting safeties. That's basically it. They had some opportunities where they were 3 safety sets. And we talked to Mark Duffner about that earlier in the week, where Andrew Wingard almost moved up as like a linebacker. Ray Lane, no snaps. Now, those guys are very involved in the 4-core special teams, but not really helping out now at safety. I think that is something that will be a concern if, in fact, Jacksonville is not able to win this football game. No doubt about it. All right, let's get to you on some of this. I also want to bring up Cohen's numbers if I do have an opportunity. Bryce Young had an absolutely dismal game. This is from the 32.91 in rating. I'll absolutely take 8 pressures from Josh Hines out. An impressive win, and let the people who don't know ball complain about the lack of sacks. Yeah, it's, the true football people know, but it also is it's a massive reward for the player. It's the first thing that they look at. It may be baseball. I mean, the baseball numbers have totally changed. You and I grew up, and it was average home runs and RBIs. Now it's like, it's straight to your on-base percentage, right?
What's a good batting average now? Like 300 used to be pretty good. What's the equivalent 300 batting average in 2025?
I think you may have 5 guys right now in Major League Baseball who are hitting over 300. I think a good average right now is 275, as long as you walk and, you can push your on-base percentage up 75 points, 100 points. It's amazing, really, the way it's gone. Let me look at this real quick before I get back to the NFL. But I saw that Aaron Judge is actually tied now with Jacob Wilson. Aaron Judge, remember they were talking about him hitting 400? He's hitting 319. Okay? Then you got Bo Bichette, 311, Trey Turner, and Vladimir Guerrero. So you have 5 players right now, and Turner's on the shelf for Philadelphia. So he's probably going to sit with that 305 for the remainder of the season. I hate to hear that with anyone getting injured, but that is the case. And then Jeremy Pena. Oh, my God. How could I forget? Shortstop Houston. Hitting an even 300 right now.
It's only 6 guys above 300.
Right. Slugging's always been important, but it's brought up the on-base percentage, and it's about, the OPS. And being able to put that together, your combined on-base percentage and slugging percentage, there's only one player right now in Major League Baseball who has an OPS of over 1. I thought Ohtani was there as 2, but it's Aaron Judge and, Ohtani is there as well. Okay, so you have 2 players with an OPS of over 1. All right, let's get back to some football questions. Appreciate all this good stuff about food in Cincinnati. Man, I mean, all you people have been there. The best ribs in America are in Montgomery in Cincinnati. Okay. Someone telling me this place near St. Mark's downtown. St. Mark's still around? Man, that place used to be nuts by Mudville. When they used to have the old sin bin across the street. What was that called? Solid Gold or the Dollhouse? I don't remember what it was. I mean, that was in like the mid to late 90s, man. Those days are all cloudy. 0882. Ballou, I disagree with covering the pass, though. They look to me like they were focused on covering and not allowing explosive plays and willingness to live with the quarterback running some. It's a very fair point by the 0882. Among all of the defensive categories that Jacksonville, unfortunately, were dead last in a year ago, they were also dead last in allowing plays of 20 yards or more. Last in that category. So this defense is designed to keep everything in front of you. How many times did we hear, including with Eric Murray, that he puts the safe into safety? No one gets behind him. I'm a little concerned about the way that they're thinking right now, right? They're living here. They're on the vine. They're living with Murray and Dewey. Those are their 2 guys. Savage getting a little bit of burn. I've focused so much on the offensive line and how bad that's been, and that's very encouraging after what you saw. I mean, you run for 200 yards and you don't allow a sack, and they didn't allow a lot of pressures. Let's go to that side of it now. Pressures for Jacksonville. Ezra allowed 3. Little allowed 2. 0 were allowed by the 2 new guys, Hainsey and Macari, as well as Anton Harrison. So, that's very encouraging. But if I look at that middle part of the field, that's my biggest concern. And I think it's been the defensive tackle position. We just spoke on that. Eric Murray could end up being really good for him. He had a fantastic first game, Eric Murray, right? He was 4th highest defensive player, according to Pro Football Focus, only behind Aloakon, Lloyd, and Hines Allen. Then there's Dewey. Played well in week 1. Okay? We'll see how that continues. After that, though, it's like bite your nails, right? Darnell Savage, and they only got 1 play out of Antonio Johnson. So he must, at least to this point, he hasn't developed. And it's such a shame, as I said a few minutes ago. I mean, he's just the length that he has. And, his effort is spectacular. It's not that. It's one of 2 things. Either he struggles in coverage and he doesn't trust his football instincts, or 2, he's not a good football player. That's where you're at. Looks great in the airport. They didn't ever go to the airport. Looks great on the tarmac. Looks great in the hotel. Has the length, has the body, has the speed. Not a good football player. I mean, you saw that around here with Miles Cole. How many times did we talk about that? Miles Cole, you picking guys to go to battle with, right? You want to walk down an alley? Miles Cole's one of the first guys you're grabbing, but I couldn't play football. And, that was a project. They knew that. He never did anything in college. His year at Texas Tech after he transferred, he did nothing. But with Antonio Johnson, man, how many times do we hear he's got first-round talent? You know, this guy's got a chance. He still does have a chance. But him playing one play, to me, speaks volumes about what they really think about that safety position as we head to this break. That's why I still believe, after making the move they made with Tank on Monday, the next position that James Gladstone is going to address is safety. That's my opinion. I think it's going to happen at some point. And you're going to have to get someone off the waiver wire who's older, or you're going to have to take a shot on a kid who's buried on a practice squad, or James Gladstone has 13 picks. Can he give something up and get a guy from, maybe a non-playoff team that, could be expendable? I think those are your options. All right, appreciate those. Again, just a ton. Oh, except for the 9247 who tells me Rick the Dollhouse had good tacos. Didn't know they served food. Honestly, I did not. And that was way back in the mid-90s. All right, Rafael Esparza is going to join us. More from you coming up. This is Into the Night.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barry here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barry Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit BarryOrthopedics.com.
Ballou here. Small business owners need trucks and vans to keep your business moving. Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram Westside has Ram 1500s, the heavy-duty 2500s, Pro Masters and custom upfits ready to work. Visit them on Commonwealth Avenue or go to Jax West online. That's jaxwest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram Westside. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local partner for work-ready vehicles.
Food that's good for you can taste good too. Flame Broiler has protein-packed bowls to fuel your day. Introducing their new chicken avocado salad bowl, made with romaine lettuce, rice, cabbage salad, and topped with a delicious house sesame dressing. It's a bowl full of goodness. Eat in, take out, or catered. Flame Broiler is easy to enjoy. Come in Monday through Sunday for happy hour 2 to 5 p.m. for a chicken mini bowl and drink for $6.95 plus tax. 5 area Flame Broilers to serve you.
Helmets and Heels is returning to Vegas. If you're heading out for the big game, join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October for a Halloween weekend football getaway, featuring Circa room discounts and a huddle up for everyone in the teal and black. Meet Helmets and Heels Friday night, October 31st, then hit the Circa Stadium Swim with temperature-controlled pools and a massive betting screen. For Circa room discounts and more information, visit the 1010XL webpage or circalasvegas.com/huddleup-up.
If you've been in a big truck accident, you need a lawyer that specializes in big trucks. A lawyer who knows all the federal traffic rules that can affect your case.
And who can navigate the complex web of laws dealing with the trucking company, the leasing company, the shipper, and all the other details that can complicate your case.
At Farah & Farah, we've seen it all, and we're ready to go the long haul to fight for you. Jacksonville.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
First
half champion Jumbo Shrimp are home at newly renovated ViStar Ballpark this week and weekend. Join us tonight for CSX First Responders Night on Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Fireworks tomorrow on Hispanic Heritage Night presented by Florida Blue. The first 2,000 fans to the main gate get an umbrella courtesy of ViStar and Roland Reach Plumbing. Baseball and fireworks all weekend. JumboShrimp.com for tickets.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner. With honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
You lost your swing. We got to go find it.
It's your Saturday morning swing adjustment.
Grip it and rip it.
Get the golf tips and talk to take your game to the next level. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday mornings at 10 on 1010XL. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Rafael Esparza, you called out the Jaguars. You said if they lost this game, they should apply for the CFL. I think they heard you. They were dominant in their victory over Carolina.
Yes, and even Mother Nature let them finish the game or start the game with it. I was actually blown away. That cell stuck on top of Jacksonville seems like forever.
Yeah, and I don't think it rained. I mean, I went down below and maybe a couple of sprinkles, but yeah, they did the right thing. You know, lightning in the area, you got to get out of there. No doubt about it. All right, how about tonight? I mean, I just look at this and I say Green Bay, Green Bay, Green Bay. But the Commanders are an interesting team. Where's the money going on Thursday Night Football?
For the past 45 minutes, under money has come in. Pretty much every book had 49, now 48.5s and 48s are popping up. Really good two-way action pretty much all day. Washington, Green Bay, but a little bit shocked on under money because I think we could see a shootout tonight.
Interesting. Significant drop in Georgia, Tennessee. What's going on there?
Injuries, you figure the tight end and a running back or is it the tight end out, running back questionable, or with the hamstrings. I think that has a lot to do with it. I wanted to take Tennessee, but, I mean, if this number continues to drop, getting Georgia maybe -3 on the road against a team that they've had dominance over, this seems like a trap for me, but I'm waiting to see how low this number gets for Georgia.
Yeah, if you can get to 3, it's a phenomenal play for Georgia. How about the under here? 50.5 seems like a lot of points for me in this game.
It does, but at the same time, if Georgia can run the ball, I think that opens up the passing game in the second half. And you figure Tennessee, if you're going to win this game, you're going to win on an over game. You're not going to win on a 24-20 type of game.
If I had your money, I wouldn't bet on Florida LSU because Brian Kelly made such a big deal about that opener with Clemson. And I know he's focused for Florida because the Gators got him a year ago. But Billy Napier's the type of guy, when wounded, he could show up there and win a game on Saturday night.
I actually like defense in this game. Let's face it, LSU's offense looked horrendous against La Tech last week. And let's face it, their offense wasn't lights out against Clemson either. It's going to be a defensive battle. The total at 47.5, I can see an SEC-type under game.
All right. South Florida, USF, been cashing a ton of checks. Does that end Saturday afternoon at Miami?
I'm actually blown away at 17.5 for Miami, and books are telling me we could see an 18 pop up because this is a 4:30 game, so it's not an early game. So money coming in probably in the Hurricanes all day long. If I can get plus 18, I might have to take a shot at the best team maybe in Florida, the Bulls.
Mike Gundy, you can certainly go to Vatek. You can go to Billy Napier down the road at Florida. Has money begun to come in on the first coach who will get fired this year in college football?
I think Florida's going to keep. I think any SEC teams will keep their head coach until end of the year because I think everyone's still going to swing for the fence for John Gruden.
Mm-hmm. And that's petrifying.
Petrifying and funny and pins and needles all at the same time.
Well, I mean, it's petrifying if Florida makes a run at him and gets him. I think John Gruden would be fantastic at the University of Florida.
I think, for some reason, I look at him and you put a top hat on and I see Alabama.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gruden to Bama and what? Lane Kiffin to Florida?
That makes a little bit more sense because Ole Miss has a tough game this week. So if they drop a game, or let's say don't make the playoffs or anything happens, I think he'll start, maybe packing up some boxes. Arkansas is going to be a tough game. I feel bad for the scoreboard operator in that game. I think we're going to see a lot of points scored in that one.
DeBoer is back, man. And Ty Simpson's back, man. The guy went 17 for 17.
Yep.
Last Saturday. What's there not to love with that? All right, Rafael Esparza, let's wrap with Jacksonville at Cincinnati. 1 o'clock coming up on Sunday.
A little bit. It's 3.5 pretty much all across the board. I'm hoping Bungles money continues to come in because I'll take the plus points. I am not sold on Cincinnati. They barely beat Cleveland. I wasn't sold with them in the beginning of the season. They still can't play defense. And Jacksonville coming in for a little momentum. That first win for them, it could be momentum building, and I'm not sold on Cincinnati. Pittsburgh is the one I would want to see win that division. So I'm going to take the Jaguars if I can get +4.
All right, outside of football, what else is going on this weekend?
It's a big fight weekend. We got Canelo fighting this weekend against Terrence Crawford. We have UFC Noche in San Antonio as well. So I'm excited for some fights all weekend long. And you got football, CFL Friday and Saturdays. Baseball's winding down. WNBA playoffs start on Sunday. So it's a heavy, heavy, heavy weekend.
This baseball season is a mess. I mean, I see the Dodgers are still the odds-on favorite to win the World Series. They've been blowing games left and right.
It's because of how much money got put on them all summer long. It's not because the way they're playing is. We were in the negative of the Dodgers right when the season started for them to win the World Series. So it's just because of all the money that's coming. I am scared of your Red Sox. I think the Boston Red Sox are a team that someone's not talking about in the American League.
Yeah, but losing Anthony hurt. That rookie was playing well. Yeah,
that does hurt.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Rafael Esparza, tell us about your show. How can the people get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can watch my show every Mondays and Fridays, Betting Behind the Box on 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me 5 days a week, Coaching Company on Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, and Roku at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every morning. So it's always a busy time in my household.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, a lot of fun as always. We'll pick it up again next week. Thank you.
Take it easy. Have a great weekend.
All right, there he goes. That is Rafael Esparza. Let me see if I can share this with you before the break. The heck did I do? All right, here we go. This was sent to me today. 2025 World Series odds. Still the Dodgers 4-1. I mean, it's only paying 4-1, and we know why. Rafael just told us all of the preseason and early in the season money for the Dodgers. Brewers 6-1. Phillies 13-2. We talked about their big injury the other day, or a few moments ago. The Yankees 17-2. Then you have Detroit, Toronto, and San Diego at 9-1. You drop down a little bit. Houston 12-1. Mets and Seattle. The Mariners 14-1, and the Boston Red Sox with the Cubs both come in at 16-1. All right, that is the very latest there for those of you who follow baseball, and I absolutely do. I mean, these 2 months are my favorite of the year. Once, you know how I constantly say I love the off season more than the in season with football. I just enjoy the spring and the summer. I don't like things measured by wins and losses for obvious reasons, especially the 6-23 that the combination of the Jaguars and Seminoles dropped on you a year ago. But once it comes, I'm ready. I mean, that's it. It's on, and now it's just major focus until, after the Super Bowl. But, boy, man, September and October, those have to be the two greatest months of the year with football fully entrenched, and you're winding down now in Major League Baseball. All right, final thoughts coming up here on the other side. Programming note, tomorrow, I'm with you from 4 to 6 on AM, okay? Only on 1010. Tim Brando is going to join us from Lubbock, Texas tomorrow at 4:13. All right, Timmy's usually with us on Thursday night, but he's not feeling well and traveled anyway, but we're going to do it with him tomorrow. So we're going to hear from Tim Brando. Again, only on the AM during high school football season, 4 to 6 tomorrow on 1010 AM.
For high school football play-by-play, it's 1010XL.
The Bulldogs look for a big bounce-back game against the undefeated Crusaders. Bulls Bishop Kenny, Friday at 7 on 1010XL.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Resto Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Resto Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
Resto Pros!
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,600 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. Only until September 30th. 18 months financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
There's a new game changer in downtown Jacksonville, and it's not the two-way star you might be thinking of. It's Pour Tap Room Jacksonville at Laura and Forsyth. 2 floors, 80 self-pour taps of craft beer, wine and cocktails, and a full liquor bar. Pour Tap Room has all your game day favorites. Wings, burgers, and more. You can even grab a slice or a pie next door at Pizza Dynamo, and they'll bring it right to your table. Pour Tap Room Jacksonville, a beer festival every day.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Time for a lane change. I'm Lauren Brooks, shifting gears on the hottest sports debate. Let's drive down Lauren's Lane in a Mazda. This is luxury. This is Mazda at the Avenues. Afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
Get down to the bank Sunday, September 21st as your Jaguars face off with division rivals, the Houston Texans. Celebrate Hispanic heritage and witness history as the Jaguars take the field for the first time this season in the legendary Prowler throwback jerseys. Lock in your seats now for a 1 p.m. kick by visiting Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at Everbank Stadium.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Well, the big news today was the sickness of Foye Oluokun. He was ill today, so he did not practice, being down there earlier at the Miller Electric Center. That was the only change, and of course, he's coming off the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. I know there's been a lot of that going on in here in the South because Tim Brando had it, and he's going to join us tomorrow instead of tonight. So hopefully they are able to keep him hydrated and keep the strength. The good news is you have Friday and Saturday, but it's not easy. You got to travel, and we'll see. We'll have an update for you on Friday. But Foye Oluokun, again, ill. That was the really only story that happened here today in Jacksonville. Got to believe that he'll be fine come Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. But again, we'll know much more on Friday.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hacker Nation is with us. Health-wise, Foye Oluokun, man.
Yeah, I saw he had the illness. I was, relieved that it was just that. You don't really know. I mean, I saw him in the locker room yesterday, and he looked fine. And obviously, he met the media on Monday after the AFC Player of the Week. So I figured it was probably something along the lines of an illness. Again, kind of relief that that's ultimately what it turned out to be. And I would have to think that it would have to be a pretty substantial illness for him not to go on Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt. The guy's playing some great football. I think this is finally the time he's going to get recognized by that. He was great in Atlanta, and he's been outstanding here. He's got to be one of the most underrated players in pro football.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, the guy led the league in tackles, 3-4 years in a row at one point. Man, I'll tell you, I know you were down there today, being down at the Miller Electric Center this week. There's a confidence that this football team has, man.
Yeah.
I talked to Hunter Long. We're going to air that conversation tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Ezra Cleveland as well. I talked to Dewey Wingard yesterday. Words are one thing. Obviously, we care much more about actions, but we saw action on Sunday in the victory over Carolina. When you talk to a guy like Hunter Long, you talk to one of the offensive linemen like Ezra Cleveland, there is a confidence that this football team has going up to Cincinnati.
Yeah, also talking with some folks today, they feel like they can get to Joe Burrow. They saw a lot of stuff on film with Cleveland. It wasn't only Myles Garrett. That's what Eric Murray told me, that they believe that they're going to be able to have some success there. They're well aware of the fact that Burrow does not have two poor offensive games in a row.
Yeah, and I like to watch the opposing team. I was watching some of the Bengals media availability. Jamar Chase brought up a point that they're not really, they're watching the Carolina game to study the Jaguars, but they're watching a lot of Green Bay film from last year. Because Campanile, you only have one game of film of him as a defensive coordinator. They're having to watch Green Bay's linebackers last year, who Campanile coached. So the point being, when people are game planning for the Jaguars, at least early in the year, they're having to go back and watch other things that are not Jaguar-related to find tendencies, because there's a lot of unknown about this Jaguar coaching staff.
All right, so you have those guys coming up tonight. What else is going on?
Yeah, we actually will go to Cincinnati as well. My guy up with the Bengals for years has been Jay Morrison, Bengals Talk. That's part of the Sports Illustrated umbrella. He'll give us the Cincinnati point of view on this game. The opener for Cincinnati, Zach Taylor telling the fans to get in the stands 15 minutes earlier than normal. Wants it very loud there in the first quarter. Obviously, Cincinnati thinks this is a pretty big game.
It's kind of a college thing, isn't it? I've never heard that before in the NFL.
And I was watching him on Wednesday. He said, "I've never asked this before, but leave the parking lot 15 minutes early. I want it loud in here when that ball is kicked off."
They're nervous about the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, have a fun show tonight.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us. Thank you to the Philly Godfather for joining us. Also, Anton Harrison. Comments from him, comments from Travis Hunter and Eric Murray. I do want to thank Rafael Esparza and Dylan Denmark. Tim Brando wasn't able to make it with us tonight. We're going to do it tomorrow at 4:13, so it's going to be right out of the gate. I'll be with you 4 to 6 tomorrow on 1010. That's 4 to 6. And I look forward to talking with you then. We'll have plenty on the Jaguars, plus an enormous weekend in the SEC. That'll do it. Hackers up next. Again, I'll talk to you tomorrow, 4 to 6 on AM 1010. I'm Rick Ballou.